Can you really make these stunning roses even if you've never piped before? Stick around to find out. Hi everyone! Welcome back to another episode of our Easy and Advanced Floral Cupcake series. I'm Susan. Let's start by crumb coating our frozen cupcake, and we'll get right into the first method. The rose is probably the most popular flower in cake decorating. And of course, the easiest way to make a buttercream rose is to do a rosette. So for the easy method, we'll be piping 3 rosettes on our cupcake. Here's what we'll need. The Wilton 2D, and I'm going to make 2 flowers with this lavender frosting, which I made with Wilton's rose pink and some cornflower blue. The third flower will be a 2-tone rosette, and I'll be using a second Wilton 2D. The white frosting was made with Wilton's White, and the 2 purple stripes were made with Americolor's Super Red, Wilton's Sky Blue, and some violet. If you want to learn about the different methods on how to fill a bag to make 2-tone rosettes, I have a full tutorial about this. You'll find a link in the description below. We'll be doing some leaves with the Wilton 352, and I have a coupler on this because we'll also be using the Wilton 10. The green frosting was made with Wilton's Kelly Green. I will also be using the Wilton 8 round tip on a second bag of lavender frosting and on a bag of white frosting. Before I pipe out the rosettes on the cupcake, I'm going to use a piping tip to mark out where the flowers will go. I'm using the 1M, which is a good size for this. Hold the cupcake in front of you and mark out the 3 areas. Make sure your bag is tight. Place the piping tip in the middle of one of the circles. Touch the cupcake and squeeze the frosting out until it sticks to the surface. If the frosting doesn't stick, just clean your tip and start over. Then pull up, move to the side, and go around the center. Only go around once. When you come to the bottom of the rosette, release the pressure and pull away. Always try to finish your rosettes at the bottom so that you can hide the ends with some leaves. Clean your tip and do a second rosette. Again, place the piping tip in the circle, touch the cupcake, and squeeze the frosting out. Pull up, move to the side, and go around the center once. Then release the pressure and come off. You can pipe a bit over the first rosette. And boom! Within a few seconds, you have 2 incredibly elegant flowers. For the last rosette, we'll be using the 2-tone bag. Before I start piping on the cupcake, I'm going to test the frosting and make sure the 2 colors are coming out. Okay, both colors are coming out. Clean the tip and you're ready to go. So for this one, we're going to pipe a bit over the other 2 rosettes. Pipe some frosting out and build it up a bit so you have enough height to go over the other flowers. Do 1 turn around the center and come off at the bottom. We're going to pipe the leaves in the open spaces between the rosettes. With the Wilton 352, make sure the 2 points of the tip are at the top and the bottom. Hold the tip in between 2 rosettes, squeeze and let the frosting balloon out. Then slowly move away while you're still squeezing. If you move your tip back and forth while you pull away, you'll create little veins in your leaf. When you get the size you want, release the pressure and pull away. Add a couple more leaves under the first leaf. Repeat this process in the open spaces between the other rosettes. You can also add some small leaves on top in the middle. Now we're going to change the tip on the green frosting for the Wilton 10 to make some buds. We'll pipe some small mounds on top of the leaves. Just put 1 or 2 in between each rosette. With the lavender frosting and the Wilton 8, we'll pipe some lavender on top of some of the mounds. Just touch your tip on top of the green, pipe a small amount out, and pull away. Now we'll switch to the Wilton 8 from the lavender frosting to the white frosting. Squeeze out the excess lavender until you see the white frosting come out. Place your tip on the remaining green mounds and pipe some frosting out. If the buds are too pointy, wait a few seconds for the frosting to crust over, and then tap them down with your finger. There you have your easy triple rosettes. Super quick, very simple, and 100% awesome. Think we can top that with our advanced roses? Let's find out. For the advanced triple roses, we're going to be piping each petal individually, and we'll be using the Wilton 104 petal tip for 2 of the roses with the same lavender frosting as before. Like the easy rosettes, the third rose will be two-toned. I filled my bag with the same purple, but this time I only have 1 line of purple, and the rest of the bag is filled with the white frosting. The purple will be aligned with the thin end of the Wilton 104 tip. Again, we have the green frosting for the leaves and buds. We'll use the Wilton 352 and the Wilton 10 for those. And finally, we'll use the Wilton 8 with the white frosting and lavender frosting. So again, I'm using a frozen cupcake that I crumb-coated. I'm going to use the Wilton 1M to mark out 3 circles on the cupcake. I'm using these as a guide, so I'll know exactly where to position each rose on the cupcake. We're going to start by piping a zigzag in the center of one of the circles. Place your Wilton 104 tip face down, pipe out some frosting, and turn your tip 90 degrees to get a small zigzag. This will be our center petal, and we'll be building our flower around it. Now pipe a line across that center line so you get a T-shape. Your next petal should start in the middle of that line so that it overlaps. You should be able to pipe 2 more petals around the center to create a bud. Remember to clean your tip and tighten your bag often. For the second row of petals, pipe some arches around that bud. Start in the middle of one petal and go up and over. You should be able to pipe 4 or 5 petals. Again, start each petal in the middle of an existing petal so that they overlap. Let's add one more here. All right, that looks pretty good. Repeat this process for a third row. You can change the angle of your tip so that the petals are more open. However, keep in mind that you have 2 more roses to pipe, so try not to make them too big. The petals can be a bit longer, but keep them consistent so you end up with a nice round flower. Let's move to the next circle and pipe our second rose. Be careful not to hit the rose you already piped. It's good if you can get 3 rows of petals, but just do your best. While I do this, go ahead and hit the like button if you're enjoying this video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That second flower's coming along pretty well. Before I do the third one, I'm going to put the cupcake in the fridge for 10 minutes to harden the frosting. This will reduce the risk of damaging the petals if I happen to touch them while I pipe the last flower. All right, the cupcake is out of the fridge. For the third rose, I'm going to put the Wilton 104 tip on the two-tone bag. I'm making sure that the thin part of the tip is aligned with the purple frosting in the bag. I'm just going to pipe out the lavender from the tip until I get the purple and white coming out. Okay, there we go. I'm going to start my rose a bit further away from the other 2. Start by piping a zigzag and then 3 petals around it. Pipe the arches for the second row. For the third row, I'm going to go in the opposite direction, as it will help avoid touching the other 2 flowers. Basically, just do your best to pipe the petals without interfering with the roses you already piped. If your petals are less than perfect, don't worry about it. We'll be adding some leaves and buds that will make it all good. So for the leaves, remember to place the points of the Wilton 352 on the top and bottom. And we'll finish it off with some buds, just like we did for our rosette cupcake. And there you have your advanced triple roses. If we compare those to the rosettes, do you find that it was worth the extra effort? Let me know in the comments. I hope this video has inspired you to try new things in your cupcake decorating journey. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time, and happy baking!